You wake up and immediately start arguing in your own head. Even before getting out of bed, your mind is replaying conversations, anticipating problems, rehearsing answers you may never need to give. Your body is here, but your mind is already somewhere else. At breakfast, you scroll through your phone as if you're searching for something you can't even define. A news story irritates you. A message gets misinterpreted. Silence feels like rejection. You say you want to live better. You say you want peace, but your mind feels like a battlefield. Deep down, you know the truth. It's not a lack of ability. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's being trapped in old patterns where your emotions take control, where negative emotions, insecurity, and frustration fuel repetitive cycles of thoughts that drain your energy and directly affect your life and your performance in everything you do. When you arrive at work, your attention drifts, and once again, there you are, comparing your life to someone else's. You look around and suddenly it seems like everyone is moving forward, and you are still trying to understand your own thoughts. You tell yourself you'll improve, that you'll get organized, that you'll focus, that today you'll be disciplined, today you'll be confident, today you'll prove you can do it. One thought appears, then another, then another. You demand more of yourself than you would from anyone else. You blame yourself. You pressure yourself. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if everyone notices? And without realizing it, you're already tired. Not from working, but from thinking. Your energy changes. Your posture changes. And the worst part isn't failing. It's feeling that you could be more if something inside you didn't keep getting in the way. You observe people who seem confident, people who make quick decisions, people who face problems without hesitation, and you wonder what they have that you don't. Maybe it's talent, maybe it's luck, maybe they were simply born different, born ready for success. But here's something few people realize. The difference doesn't begin with circumstances, it begins in the mind, because before any external victory, there is an internal battle. A silent battle between the thought that strengthens you and the thought that weakens you, between the voice that builds and the voice that destroys. For a long time, perhaps you believed that a winning mindset means always being motivated, always positive, always confident, but that isn't true. A winning mindset isn't the absence of doubt. It's the ability to continue even when doubt appears. It's not the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. You must live your dreams, not your fears. Persistence is one of the strongest qualities of a winning mindset. People with this mindset have vision, create measurable plans, and think long-term. But the truth is simple. Every person who has built something meaningful has faced moments of insecurity. They have questioned their own abilities. They have thought about giving up. The difference is that they didn't let those thoughts define who they were. They faced challenges and persevered through adversity. And this is where everything begins to change. The shift happens when you are truly willing to grow. A winning mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you train. Trained in small moments, in moments when no one is watching, when something goes wrong and you decide to try again. When your mind starts criticizing you and you choose to respond with awareness. When you fail but refuse to turn the mistake into your identity. People with a winning mindset don't ignore their emotions. They learn to understand them. They respond to failure and adversity with resilience. When they feel frustration, they don't freeze. They analyze. When they feel fear, they don't immediately run away. They observe it. When doubt appears, they don't automatically accept it as truth. They question it, because a trained mind understands something important. Thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are suggestions. Some strengthen you, others try to protect you from imaginary risks. But if you accept all of them without questioning them, your mind begins to limit your life. Choose to stand out from the crowd. Dare to be different. Dare to make a difference. Have the courage to face uncertainty and deal with the unknown. Courage acts as a catalyst for healthy self-esteem. Building a winning mindset also requires something difficult: responsibility. Responsibility for your thoughts, for your reactions, for your choices. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means recognizing the one place where you truly have power, within your own mind. Because you can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you interpret what happens, and that interpretation shapes your reality. Criticism can be seen as an attack or as information. A mistake can be seen as a failure or as a lesson. An obstacle can be seen as proof of inability or as an inevitable part of growth. A winning mindset chooses the second interpretation, not because it's easy, but because it's useful. Stay organized, anticipate, delegate, create, and avoid procrastination. Only you are in control of your path. Strive to become a better version of yourself. Don't base your self-worth on negative or malicious comments from others. Focus on areas where you can grow, but don't place too much weight on the approval or recognition of others. Practice gratitude. It helps free your mind from negativity and increases optimism. A winning mindset builds a strong character because it allows you to respond to pain with greater clarity and reason. Cultivating a winning mindset is one of the keys to long-term success. Over time, something begins to change. You notice your thoughts sooner. You notice when doubt begins to creep in. You notice when your mind starts exaggerating a problem. And in that moment, you do something different. You pause, you breathe, and you decide which thought deserves your attention. It seems small, but small decisions repeated consistently create major change. Gradually, your confidence stops depending on outcomes. It begins to depend on your willingness to keep going. You realize that discipline is more powerful than motivation, that consistency beats intensity, that quiet progress beats perfection. Little by little, the way you see yourself begins to change. You stop defining yourself by your mistakes. You stop comparing yourself to other people. You begin focusing on your own path. And when challenges appear, you no longer panic. You observe, you analyze, then you act. This doesn't mean doubt disappears. It still appears, but now something stronger is present: awareness, clarity, direction. And even then, there will always be a decisive moment, a quiet moment, when something doesn't go the way you expected, when someone doubts you, when your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns. In that moment, two voices appear. One says, maybe you can't do it. The other asks, what if you try anyway? And the difference between those voices isn't in the world. It's inside you. So the question remains, when the next challenge appears, which of these voices will you choose to listen to?